Tak dobrý den, já vás zdravím, moc děkuji, že jste přijal pozvání k dnešnímu rozhovoru. Vy jste byl v 5 letech rozpoznaný jako vysoký duchovní tibetský láma. Jaké je to se narodit jako buddhistický láma?
Actually, it is very in Tibetan, according to our culture or in our society. If somebody born in your family is a reincarnated person, let's say like a reincarnation of some Tibetan spiritual masters, it is a very privilege. Considered as a very privilege, and it's a good sign. And family always takes this, many times people in the family takes it very positive. And of course, it is. It has a reason because you have such responsibilities to develop, or the Buddha Dharma, which means to helping or serving others, because this is basic, very classic and basic knowledge or philosophy of Buddhism, to serve others. So it's always good to help others, to make sure that you are making others happy. So this is kind of your duty. So which is big responsibility, because you are supposed to teach or serve others, means a lot, So people have different capacities of mental capacities. So it is not easy. So there's a lot of studying, which is kind of tough, but and your responsibility is beautiful. So I would say it's really. I'm also very privileged to get this opportunity. Whether I'm not sure whether I am the truth reincarnation or not, but I'm recognized as a reincarnation by this organized the Dalai Lama. So now here we go. So I'm taking it positive. Yeah.
A jak se vlastně projevuje reinkarnované vědomí? Vzpomínáte si třeba, že od mala jste měl nějaké vzpomínky na předchozí život, nebo něco takového?
Something, if I remember something from the previous life, I mean, that's honestly, there's always some small things, like familiar with something, but then you could call it because for me, when I was small, I play as a child. I like to play as a monk. I play, like the small children are playing. Sometimes children are playing cooking, or doing some small things. Or sometimes boys are driving cars. These things, and it's like for me, it was very natural. Like when I was very small, I used to do the drums. This spiritual way of singing, we call it puja. So even though like at age of 4 or 5, I don't know proper way of doing it, but that's the way how I was playing, so this kind of, and for me at that time it was like, that's my natural, this is how I want to be, that's how I should be. So these kind of things and feelings were there, but something specifically memories from previous life, definitely not.
A dokázal byste mi popsat, co vám studium buddhistické filozofie do života přineslo?
The Buddhist philosophy gave me a lot. Actually, like this philosophy, but like the education which I got in the monastery, the Buddhist education gave me a lot, of course. To make myself like let's say like a better let's say it's more like it makes you develop your common sense, and then once you have this common sense, once you have a common sense, you are dealing more easier in a positive way, and of course, so it gives you a lot of positive in your life. So once you are getting more positive, like you are getting education from some positive way of education, so it automatically your life is much more happier. So of course, as a young age, you have the education, like you got a lot of educations, but still you are not applying them intensively, you know. But you, time to time, or step by step, you are thinking in your daily life, and it's developing a lot, and you can apply those methods which you learn from your masters, and that masters' words are coming in my mind very often in different situations. Those situations I'm able to handle my life. So when I'm like in certain problems and certain situations, always dealing with myself, you know, with the mind thinking, you know. So definitely like a positive, like making life more happy. Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's like, and of course, to helping others through my experience. You know, so definitely it's positive.
Určitě se i v České republice setkáváte se spousty lidma, kteří praktikují meditace nebo se učí jógu. Nemá ale vlastně to studium té jógy nebo té meditace vás dostat do toho stavu té mysli jako po celý ten den? Protože samozřejmě, když cvičíte tu jógu, tak 2 hodiny máte vyhraněno na to, abyste dělali nějaká cvičení, nebo meditace může trvat 2 hodiny. Není to ale ve finále tak, že ten stav té mysli, kam se dostanete při té meditaci, má být jako po celý ten den?
Yeah, actually, it seems like, okay, like why would you meditate? Sometimes people will ask like this kind of question, why would you meditate only for 2 hours? Why would you do it only for 1 weekend? You know, like these things. But actually, I mean, that's we have to understand that kind of capacity we have. You know, like you know, we have to do things according to our capacity. We cannot do over, because then it is pointless. Because something has to go according to your capacity, if you have the capacity. So, of course, Buddhism is not about 2 hours or this, but it's about constantly, each and every moment. You have to live in the present moment, which means you are in you are supposed to live in a meditation state. Your mind should be in that state. So, if you are in that state, then, I mean, you are a very good meditator, of course. Of course, to get that level, I think you need step by step, you know, like, because somebody's especially here in Europe or in Western countries, it is not your origin kind of culture or, you know, philosophy, religion, or whatever you call it, but it's not origin from here, so it is sometimes it's difficult to connect it. You know, like even though you are familiar to, or you like it very much, the philosophy, idea of meditation, yoga, all these things, but still you are not completely connected there because you grew up in a different culture. So connecting there is not directly going like very fast. I don't know. Of course, it depends on people, but not for everybody. So I think the step by step is, you know, practicing and letting it more and more. And so it is like it is of course very good. I think like it's a good way, like a good approach. I think.
Bavíme se zde o západní a východní společnosti. Dokázal byste mi právě ten západ a východ nějakým způsobem srovnat? Jaký jsou rozdíly mezi mentalitou západu a východu?
Eastern and Western culture, I mean, it's for me, of course, there's a cultural difference, as everyone knows. The Western world is, of course, like a much more like front, like developed countries, like if you talk about technology or all these things, you are very front. But so that makes you very busy. So your life is very busy. So you are creating all these things. Like you are spending a lot of time to make money, to make the world faster. All these modern technologies and all these things. You have a lot of incredible things. Like the Westerns have created already, and which is today you could see in the world. We all know. So I think that people don't have so much time for themselves, so they are not very much aware of their nature, but they are more focused on materialism or material world. You are so much focused on materialist. So in this case, our world is slower. We are behind, but with more. Like a smile, more happier, more connected to people. So these are the different things which I see. I'm living here for the last 17 years, so I know how difference is and how the problems are. As I'm saying, I just realized that I don't want to say that it's not exist, but I never met anyone in India who said, "Oh, I'm in a depression. What can I do?" None of my friends or none of my close people or none of some stranger comes to me and I have a depression. Nobody ever asked me these kind of questions. Here very often I'm in a depression. Every month I hear from somebody twice or three times. I have some kind of depression today, I'm not happy. So here is clear, because you have a depression because you have no time for your happiness, which means it's inner. So you are not focusing here, but you are all the time focused on others. So this kind of mentality or mental attitude is shows West and East have a big difference. Of course, I cannot talk about all the Eastern culture or all the Western culture, because there are different peoples, and even in India, like Tibetan culture and Indian culture has also a little bit mentally a little bit different, So general talking is kind of like this.
Takže vlastně nám tak trošku chybí čas sami na sebe, aby jsme zpomalili a tak se možná trošku víc napojili na naše vnitřní štěstí. Je to tedy tak?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we are kind of maybe not only it's not only here also. The material world is everywhere now. Everyone, now the Westerns wanted to become like the Eastern world, because now they are so much in the front with this material world. They are highly educated for these modern technologies and all these things, and they are searching for some inner peace, and they are searching how to overcome all these problems, and they are trying to search something, they are missing something, so that's why they are interested in now more and more these days Buddhism and these things. It's because it's a fact, it's a fact, because we have to look at the fact. So in our society now, in the East, and people are wanting to getting more like the Western, like Westerners, and trying to copy Western culture, how to dress, how to, drive, or like many, I cannot point at a specific one now, but I mean, in general talking, it's the Eastern culture is a little bit trying to copy, from Western culture. So of course there are also people, I believe, they are kind of changing in the East, and here also changing in the Westerns are changing to trying to find something for themselves, like a proper happiness for themselves. So, yeah.
A když Evropa tedy je víc konzumní nebo víc materialistická, jak pracovat s tou materií, jak pracovat s těmi penězmi, jak se na to koukat, tak aby člověk neztratil to vnitřní štěstí?
Well, so this, of course we are living in 21st century, so without money it's hard to live. So what I would like to say is I think it would be good to earn money and use it, in a good way, in a reasonable way. Make money, of course, and then use it. Like, can you imagine, somebody has billions and billions of money, and if still they want to make money, and what is the necessary? Just imagine, what is the necessary for? Why do you need this much money? So if you use it in the right way, then I think you feel also, I believe, that you are serving others, you are helping others, you are doing something, you are doing some project. So it makes you, sense of making money. You are okay, you have money for yourself, and you are making money for to help others, and it's such a good project for giving education in some places like in Africa, in Asia, in the Himalayas, or in Tibet, and many places in the world are needed over, there are many places there are not good social systems in the West. So hospital, for example, in Tibet, we don't have a good school because our education system is really bad in Tibet. I don't talk about in India, but even in India we have a lot of these children who are escaped from Tibet, who doesn't have parents. They probably need also education support. Education is very important because that's how it gives you life a little bit easier physically also. And also, in our society, we give education, a Buddhist education, also a loving kindness, these things. So also we are given in normal school, we have this kind of educations. So I mean, through those educations, you can, knowledge you can share. For example, somebody studying Buddhism, so they can share this education to the rest of the world. It's benefiting a lot when you think more further. So it benefits a lot from generation to generation, not only about our generation or your generation, but it's future generations, they could benefit from that. If you think in this way and do some practical thing, then it's okay. And make money, and of course you have to combine all these things. You cannot only live in making money, and then of course then you're making also you will get some kind of fears also, because what I'm going to do with this money, or who would going to take, a lot of stress, I think. So if you have an idea what to do in a good way, so then I think you are satisfied. You have a feeling that you benefit to others, and you serve others, and you serve generation to generations. So you can actually create such an institution. You can establish. Even in Europe, you can open, if you have a really you have a rich enough, you can open here some center where people can go and study meditation and do all these kind of things. You can open here in Europe. It's no problem at all. We have great masters, we have teachers, we have all the possibilities we have. So we can offer these things. So which benefits even in this Czech society, in the Western society, can benefit through these knowledges, because this knowledge is something which you are giving to you, which nobody can take anywhere. So that's what I think.
A není to vlastně tím, že naše společnost je tak trošku zaměřená na lidské ego a posilování toho lidského ego, namísto toho, aby se snažila to lidské ego kultivovat a zušlechťovat?
What was the question exactly? The end of the question I didn't understand.
Jestli naše společnost není moc fokusovaná na lidské ego. Protože buddhismus, tak jak já ho znám, tak se snaží vlastně odprostit od lidského ega. Jestli to vlastně není ten kořen toho problému.
I think I'm 100% sure. Yes, but you know, I don't think so. That people are not focusing and purposely, like they are not doing it on purpose. That they are focusing on ego. Ego is something following you, or it's within you. It's you know, because we call it like all these things like negative emotion, and we call it like a poison, you know. So these negative emotions, and through those negative emotions you create a lot of problems. And ego is also the poison, and through ego you get a lot of negative emotion. You know, through the ego you get a lot of negative emotion. So what you can do is to destroy ego is nobody can help you to do. Like of course you can have a master, you can have a guide, you can have someone who tells you like how to destroy the ego, but who would do it? You have to do it. So knowing knowledge is not enough, but you have to apply, you have to be in practical level, you should do it, and yourself you have to do it. So of course, I don't believe that people are focusing that, you know, I want to be, you know, egoistic, and I want to be, you know, guy with a big ego. Nobody thinks like this, you know, like a morning wake up and I want to be ego man. I don't think so, but it's kind of coming itself, but it's good to knowing it and then find out how to destroy it, you know. So that's why there are a lot of methods how to destroy your ego. So these are the you know, like education system like we have in Buddhism. So so how to destroy your ego. So once you are able to destroy all these egos, your life is much more happier. So then you have to do it yourself.
A dá se tedy ego zničit, nebo?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, of course, because it's here, you know. So all the ego, you know, when you talk about ego is in like in your mind, how you know, like because you are not concentrated. Or you know, like oh, now I have money more than them, and now I'm somebody, and like this. And if you are just distracted and all these things, then you are lost among the ego. So you forgot about your. The ego makes you fear, ego makes you anger, ego makes you all things. Through ego comes everything. You know, ego is making you unhappy. Ego makes you scared because you wanted to be the biggest guy. Oh, you are worried that somebody else would be bigger than you, and you are, you know, and the ego have already fear. Ego have fears in many parts, I think. Yeah, so definitely there are. Buddhism is all about this, how to destroy your ego, you know.
A oproti tomu egu, pokud existuje ego, existuje něco jako třeba věčná mysl nebo čistá mysl, nějaký protipol proti tomu egu?
Yeah, this is this thoughts which you can like there are a lot of Buddhist kind of it's all about concentration, you know, like so that's why we are meditating, because meditation is actually controlling your mind. You know, meditation is actually controlling controlling your mind from just distraction from everywhere. So don't let the mind fly. Just be here. Be in the present moment. Doesn't mean that you switch off completely. You are knowing what you're doing when you talk about present moment. You know what you're doing it, so you know this is ego, and you know this is not good, and you are not just judging like oh, ego is bad and so I shouldn't do it. No, you really have to investigate. You have to know. You have to find out why it is bad, why it's doing. So all this, if you are able to do it, you are in the present moment. So then you are. These are the methods. You know, like be aware of the situation, be present, be able to be in the present moment, which we are most of the time we are not. You know, like we always. We are not in present moments. We are already thinking about, well, if the coronavirus will finish, maybe I would like to go to holiday, you know, this will cost this much for my family, you know, if somebody have a family or somebody haven't, so maybe they will already think about already far, you know, like they are thinking about planning, and they don't know whether they will, actually they are thinking about 1 month later's holiday, but whether they know, people are not knowing that maybe tomorrow they will not wake up, this they will never come in their mind, you know, tomorrow can die. We never know, we never seen tomorrow, so how we can say, so that's why it's about impermanent. We should understand what is impermanent. You know, impermanent means nothing is permanent. So around us, nothing is permanent. So that's why we should aware of this, that nothing is permanent, so we have to be aware. So awareness means something like we have to be aware of situation. For that, you need to be in the present moment. When you'll be able to be in the present moment, if you don't know how to do it, and for that, you have the help. This is called meditation. So this is how you are practicing. So once you get used to, once you are very good at it, so you don't have to really focus, you don't have to be concentrated, you don't have to do, it is kind of becoming your natural. This is how you do it, just normally. So once you are in such a level like that, then this is the, you know, like the way how you are reaching to nirvana, say, you know, like enlightenment. Something like that.
Tak mohl byste, když jste nakousnul téma nirvány, mohl byste nám trošku popsat, co ta nirvána tedy je? Je to ta koncentrovaná mysl, to je nirvána?
Oh, nirvana means basically it's you know, it's freedom, you know, the freedom from, like totally freedom from suffer. Total happiness, you know, like, so we are living in this society which we call like the state of mind we are like now living. We have a lot of problems, we have anger, jealousy, we talk about ego before, and that level, like kind of, it's a kind of samsara, we call it, you know, samsara, and we are living in samsara. So and samsara, nirvana is when you get freedom from those. Total freedom means you are you are able to recognize your own nature, your true nature. So once you recognize your true nature, means you understand the, you know, you understand, like you will find out the final kind of, you know, like a permanent kind of happiness, let's say. So that mind level, like that state. And so there, once you reach that level, so you control, you will not, we believe that we will not like controlled by the sufferer, but we can control the sufferer. You know, like we can control. So we are very much aware of the situation. So that's kind of...
A nirvana...
And a very simple way I try to explain you. Yeah, so it's something like that. Yeah.
A je nirvana to samé jako osvícení?
Yeah, yes, it is.
To jsou to stejné pojmy teda.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a Sanskrit word. Yeah, so in Czech you call it osvícení, right? So enlightenment.
A když se vymaníte z toho samsarického kruhu, přestanete se znovu rodit do dalších životů. Lze z toho vystoupit, abyste se narodil znova, abyste splnil s nějakým věčným principem.
I mean, once you have this, so you can control your soul. Means your soul, you know, which we are talking is like your soul or your thoughts, you know, like, I mean, we cannot point like this is soul or, you know, like that. But this, like, this, how to say this one? Once you get this freedom from the sufferer, and once you recognize your own nature, so then you are actually controlling when you want to born, and you have a total freedom to do what you want. You know, like so you actually can. So that's why we believe in the reincarnation, because soul is actually like moving to another body. So means once you are an enlightened person, you actually control, because it's like even if you are alive, now we are alive, right? So once you are alive, so in the samsara is problem that we, in the samsaric level, we have a problem that we cannot control. We are not controlling. The samsara is controlling us. That's why we have a lot of suffer. But once you started to control, once you recognize your own nature, so you know what you are doing it, so you can always, you don't let it fly, your soul fly anywhere. So you control it, right? So once you are able to control, so you are able to control your soul, means you can born, not born, is up to you. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. So if it's necessary to, Buddha himself, he came to serve others. We consider him as already enlightened being before. So that's the life of Buddha, is just to show the world how the world it is. It's like a school. It's like a, he was showing to the all the sentient beings, like, especially for the people. When we pray, we always pray for the whole sentient beings, but when you give the education, you are giving to the humans. So when Buddha, he himself showed what is suffer, what is, all this he precisely he explained. So he doesn't have to come, he came again, and he showed from the normal life to everything until the enlightened. He showed how it works and how it is. So that's how. Yeah. So then you could say, you can, once you are an enlightened person, so you really you can control where you want to go, what you want to do, and of course to serve others, because you are the fully wisdom person who have a fully wisdom. So they have always love there, compassion. So they will always, wherever it is necessary, they will serve.
A každý může dosáhnout osvícení?
Yes, I think everyone can, everyone have the possibilities. That's why we call it, sometimes it sounds funny, if you call it, you are Buddha, and some people think that I might be crazy, like I'm calling somebody, you are Buddha, but it doesn't mean that we are Buddha now, we have the Buddha quality, the possibilities, Buddha nature we have, but we have to find it out, it's like we are not recognizing it, that we have it, we have the quality, but we are so much distracted and covered by negative emotions and all this, so that's why we don't see it, but we have it in us. So that's why we have to work also ourselves to it's like a silver or these things, when it's getting dirty. So sometimes people say, what is this, So then if you ask someone who a professional cleaner, they clean it, they have to clean if they clean the essence of the whatever, the silver or is there, or gold, or it's there. So you will see, is it clear? It never changes, so it's there. So it's like we have this this gold quality, we have it, but it's just covered by negative emotions, and we don't see it, so our mind is easy to distract it on many things. So we want this and that, and ego, all these things. So it's up to us.
A ty buddhistické kvality nazývají se u vás v buddhismu paramity?
It's a wisdom, yeah. I think you're talking about wisdom. Wisdom is actually in the West, it's a little bit, I don't know, in the Western world how, because wisdom is the English word, so I don't know whether it is actually translated proper way, but everyone call it wisdom. So if I explain you roughly about wisdom is maybe in the West it's like somebody who's wise, who's intelligence, and who can, who is able to lead the society or whatever, because of the intelligence, because of the wiseness, But in when you talk about in Buddhist case, or like in a Buddhist philosophy, way of saying like when I'm trying to say like wisdom, it's not only about the intelligence or wiseness, but should have the quality, inner pureness of love and loving kindness and compassion. You should have that quality, and with that quality, and if you have the this kind of wiseness or this intelligence, and then you do it with the love and compassion, and that we call it kind of then you could maybe call it wisdom.
To jsou ty parametry?
Yeah, I think parameter is it's a wisdom.
Taky se říká vlastně v buddhismu, že svět byl stvořen z máji, že je to vlastně tak trošku iluze, tento svět. Dá se tomu rozumět tak, že svět je iluzorní kvůli tomu, že podléhá zkáze, že všechno, co se zde rodí, tak prožívá nějaké utrpení a vlastně na konci ta hmota se rozpadne.
Like an illusion, you're saying, yeah, kind of, I mean, it's impermanent. Like it's that's what we talk, I don't know whether it's it starts from where and what this I cannot answer for that, but definitely it's nothing is permanent, as I said before, and everything is impermanent, and everything is called illusion, call it whatever we see is like an illusion. But we cannot say like an illusion, it's illusion and we don't care, no. You can say it illusion the moment when you are, how to call it? So the moment when you the English word, I'm sorry, the moment when you are in the level, for example, let's say, now I forgot the word, but let's say in a different way, when you say like when you will have when some kind of wisdom arises from you, and you have this kind of, the wisdom which I explained before. Once you have this kind of wisdom, so that moment, I think, like you are able to point and say it's an illusion. Then you accept. Until you are not discovered by yourself, it's not. Oh yeah, that's what I want to say. Until you are not discover yourself, it's an illusion. And it's not enough to say it's an illusion. You have to find it out yourself. It's an illusion. Makes sense, So that moment, then you can say, okay, it's an illusion. Only saying like until that, we have to work ourselves to find out it's a real illusion. We have to work for that. So means our mind distracted, and that's why we see it's illusion. So to not distract it, we have all this Buddhist practice, meditation, and all these things. So through that, you will learn it's an illusion. So in that moment, I think you can call it illusion. Otherwise, you have let's say maybe in a way saying like you have no right to say it because you are not one who not discover yet. So each of us have to discover. It's not theoretically, it's not enough. We have to go through.
A není to právě tak protože ta hmota podléhá vlastně tomu času, té zkáze, tomu rozpadu a ty vnitřní kvality jsou věčné, tak není ta cesta vlastně správná kvůli tomu právě, že se kontaktuju s něčím věčným? Kdybychom si zjednodušili to vysvětlení. Hmota je něco, co podléhá času a zkáze. A ta buddhistická filozofie vlastně hovoří, že musíme objevit toho Buddhu v sobě. Tak vlastně, když ho objevíme v sobě, tak přijdeme na to, že je to iluze. Je to tak? Je to tak.
So, like once you, as I said, like once you discover, once you yourself able to discover it's an illusion, that moment you probably have a right to say, okay, now it's an illusion. Of course, theoretically, everyone knows, like everyone talks, but still you are seeing it's touchable things, you know. You are still not in that level of, you know, like you don't have a right to say, like, I mean, you have a right to say, I mean, you are not in the level that you discovered. So until that, it's not an illusion. So you have to go through, you know, like until you will find out yourself is an illusion. That moment, it is illusion. Yeah. Until that, you have to walk out that it is not illusion. You have to walk on that. So if I'm talking in this way, okay.
Takže vlastně, když člověk se odprostí od toho ega, tak se vymaní z té iluze a probudí se, nebo probudí v sobě ty věčné ctnosti toho Buddhy. To správně?
Teď jsem nepochopil.
Když vy tou praxí rozpustíte to vaše ego, tak se probudíte vlastně do té kvality toho Buddhy. Chápu to správně?
Ano, je to tak. Takže, nebo je to tak, je to poznávání. It's more like a recognition, you know, then you will start to recognize, you know, like once you destroy the ego, like if you are able to destroy ego, so means already the stronger part, who is the stronger part, you know, who destroyed the ego is the stronger part, which means your present moment, your awareness, your, you know, like be able to be in the present moment, you know, that your mind, your true nature, you understood that it's this ego, so the ego loses, you know, when you fight against ego. So in that moment, of course, it's then, it's your true nature.
Takže ego je lež a Buddha, nebo stav mysli, Buddha je pravda.
Basically, yeah. If you say in a different way, it's kind of making us confusion, yeah. So it's not really fact. It's illusion, we say. So, but as I'm saying, like illusion can be accepted only the moment when you discover by yourself, not by theoretically by somebody is saying to you. Yes, somebody says, but then you have to work on it. You know, you have to work, you have to study, you have to practice. That's why there are a lot of different practice exists, you know, in Buddhism. So.
A jaký je pro vás osobně životní cíl? Protože vy jste vyrůstal v Indii, narodil jste se v Tibetu, teď jste v Evropě. Jak se koukáte na tu vaši cestu? Nebo co si myslíte, že je váš konečný cíl životní?
Nirvana? Yeah, of course, I would like to. I would like to reach Nirvana, of course, because this is something what we study. And so once you wanted to reach Nirvana, there's only one way. You know, there's this way. You know, that you have to do help for the other sentient beings. You have to be serving others. So this is the simple way of explanation. You know, you do for others. Then the happiness is automatically coming from there. You know, it's like a physics. You know, it's coming. It's like this. It's natural. So I would like to do that, of course. So because if you don't understand what is the problem, what is the suffer, and then if you see it's kind of like, okay, I can have it in the suffer, I can live in this. If you are happy with your, I don't know, if you are happy, if this is making you okay feeling, then you can live, you know, you can live with the suffer. But Buddhism definitely offer what is opposite of suffer, like how to get out of the, you know, suffer and problems. So definitely this is what Buddhism introduced, like a path, or, you know, how to get out of this problematically society or environment or world, whatever you call it, and definitely we offer that. But I meet many strangers in the West were asking me like, why would we should be happy? You know, somebody's asking me. So I'm wondering, so don't be happy. So be unhappy. Try it. How long you can handle? I'm wondering, seriously, I'm wondering how long you can be handle living in depression. And one day maybe you will do suicide, and that's not how you deal with things, you know. This is happening in many places in the world. So there are people trying to think in this light, but it doesn't make any sense, you know, for me. So if somebody's happy like this is their choice. If they like to live an unhappy life, so this is their way. But if somebody's searching for happier and proper happy life and permanent happy life, not a temporary one, and you really want it to be happy, so then this is what we offer. Yeah.
Já bych se ještě rád zastavil u tématu karma. Tak jak karma se tady vykládá u nás v České republice, možná v Evropě, tak, nebo tak jak já se s tím setkávám, tak lidi chápají jako, když udělám něco špatného, tak přijde Bůh nebo nějaká entita a potrestá. Není to u vás trošku jinak? Naopak, že vlastně vy si tu karmu sám zvolíte tím, že se rozhodnete správně?
Karma is like this. It's if I talk in a simple way, I think the karma is it is cause and condition, you know, cause and condition, because it's like, for example, if you are growing, for example, you have a small seed of flower, and you put this flower in the pot, and you wanted to grow the flower. So what you have to do is you have to take care of the flower, you know, watering, proper sun, you know, you have to light, air, you know, everything. There's all these conditions, cause and condition is there. And based on these conditions is the result. So if you don't treat it well, you don't get the good result. And if you treat it well, you will get a good result. So its karma is more or less working like this, you know. It's like so then karma, of course, you can reduce, increase. This is, but you can reduce the karma also because of your awareness, you know. Then you do, oh, this is not good. You are aware of, oh, if I do this, because then it shows that you have the wisdom. So then through this wisdom you understand, oh, if I do this, then it's not good. So because you are aware, you are not flying, your mind is not flying, so your mind is in the present moment. So then you are doing things in a proper way, so you don't have to get a better result. So everything is cause and condition. So there is no Buddha.
A učíte ještě buddhismus? Nebo kdyby po případě byl nějaký zájemce, který by u vás chtěl studovat buddhismus, učíte ještě?
Já ne, teďka nedělám, jako jenom I'm not doing it. I'm not any, I don't give any Buddhist teaching. I do some small talks about Buddhism, basic Buddhism, and talking like this, but not proper teaching. I don't do because I left a long time ago, and now I have my own small project. So, but in future, yes, I would love to, because I'm supposed to. My born is supposed to teach. You know, it's that's what they educated me, and I would like to, because I know that teaching is not about something to teach, but it's about serving others. You know, so that's I would like to do in future. So let's see.
Tak když budete znovu učit buddhismus, tak zrovna mi říkal kamarád, že by se chtěl naučit meditovat a kontrolovat svou mysl, tak si můžeme zavolat a já vám určitě doporučím jako učitel.
You will see. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Yeah, sure, you can recommend one day if I will start to teach, yes.
A dá se meditovat třeba při práci? Když budu v kanceláři a budu pracovat na počítači a bude bzučet všude telefon a všichni budou telefonovat a křičet, můžu si udržet ten stav té mysli, ty čistý, jasný mysli při tomhletom chaosu?
Yes, you can. it's all about practice, you know. Practice makes perfect. You say this, you know. In West, you are saying this. Practice makes perfect. Yes, of course. My master used to tell me the best meditator is meditating in the most noisy and most busy places where it's going so many crazy things going around you, and you could be distracted so easily everywhere. And if you are able to control your mind, if you are able to be in the present moment, if you are an adept, if you are able to meditate, then you are the best meditator. So it is possible, of course, because whatever is happening, so it's connecting with your mind, right? Whatever is connecting, it's connecting with your mind. Here, there, everything is connecting. You see it, mind is creating something, right? Somebody tells you the answer is created by your mind. So everything is connected with your mind. You know, whatever you do, things, however you are busy, you can, if you practice, you can be in that level that you are in the present moment all the time. It's like a driving car, you know, when you're driving car, you have to concentrate on the road sign, everything. Doesn't mean that you cannot talk, or you cannot smoke, or you cannot do other things, you know. While driving, you do many things, right? So similarly, you can, it works like this.
A nesouvisí tak trošku lidské smysly, jako zrak, sluch, čich a hmat, s tím, že nám jako dávají podněty k tomu, aby ta naše mysl byla zaměstnaná?
Yeah, of course these are connected because we are connected with the 5 elements, so everything is connected. And of course the brain, I don't know, honestly talking, how the brain works and like this, but I usually, what I'm saying is I'm talking about thoughts, thinking, the way how we think, you know, thoughts, which I call it like soul, you know, and that the thoughts is really definitely connected, because I think maybe it's connected with the brain, according to scientists, right? And definitely it's connected with that gives you information, and then your mind started to distract it, you know, all these things. But from smell, like you can distract. You know, you can distract it by all kind of elements. You know, 5 elements. You can be distracted by caused by that. Those elements.
Dobře, a možná trošku mám na vás takovou kontroverznější otázku. Myslíte si, že existuje Bůh, nebo co je pro vás Bůh vlastně? Je to wisdom? Je to moudrost?
For me personal, I don't talk about general talking about Buddhism, well, like all Buddhist people, but me, according to what I study and what I'm also like, I'm not only like trying to, like what I learned, I heard somewhere something, and based on that, I'm not just judging or following, but I'm trying to make, you know, because in Buddhism we study a lot of this logic, you know, debate. So this logic debates are very good to developing your common sense, and like this, it develops your common sense. You know, we need a common sense. It's very important because it's part of it. Like also we need these things in a being able to be in the present moment. You also should have a common sense, you know. So it's part of it. So for me, book like the God, how like this, like a God is like what I think people used to say God is. I don't believe. I don't believe in this. Yeah, because if there is God, so why we have a problem? Why the whole samsara is a problem? God should do something. No, if there's a God power. No, we say, Buddha himself said, whatever my teaching is, whatever I teach, what I'm teaching, you should investigate and then you follow. Not just because I'm Buddha, I'm teaching, based on that, don't have to be faith. You don't faith on me. You don't have to give a faith on me because of, you know, Buddha teach, you know, or like what I'm saying. So in saying like your God is yourself. You know, you are your God. This is how it said. Going, you know, In Tibetan we say this, it means you are your master or guru or God, whatever you call it, but only who can give you total freedom and the total happiness, the proper one, that it comes from you, not coming from there, from somewhere. So it's coming from you. So it means you have to be aware of that. You have to work on it. You have to work hard. So you're the God. So I'm God. You are God also.
Namaste means.
Namaste is a greetings of India, or also in Nepal. They create Namaste, and also in Namaskar they are saying also. So this greetings. It's a greetings, something like a dobrý den.
Já jsem slyšel, že to znamená Bůh ve mně, zdraví Boha v tobě.
Maybe yes. It's in a Hindu way. I don't know exactly what does that mean. The word exactly mean. But we always say namaste means it's like a greeting. Usually. So it's more connecting with the religion connected. In a Hindu religion connected, because in India, not everybody is greeting namaste. In some place, Jule. In some place, Salam Alaikum. And in Tibetan we say Tashi Delek. So we have different greetings.
Takže buddhismus rozhodně není náboženství, ale je to filozofie.
Definitely. Way of life. It's not. For me, it's because you wanted to be a better person. It's normal, Who would say in the morning when you wake up, say, today I wanted to be very jealousy person, very angry person. Nobody thinks this. Nobody. I want to be mean person. Nobody think like this, But this happens because of the mind we are not controlling. These things are happening. These things are happening. We don't want this. So what we don't want, don't do it. So to not do it, you have to control your mind. To control mind, you have to, your mind be able to be in the present moment, which means you have to practice going through the meditation.
A možná moje taková poslední otázka. Měl byste nějakou radu pro současnou společnost? Nějakou jednu buddhistickou radu? Co byste jim chtěl říct? Co byste chtěl říct světu?
I would say it's not my saying. It's from saying by somebody I really like. He said once, he's a Tibetan master, Tibetan Lama, very, very good Rinpoche. He's a Lama. And and I heard that somebody asked him this, and I think it's very true. And that's why I'm trying to share. Maybe it will be, because whatever is good, I would like to share also to others. So I would like to say that it's very interesting. Whatever you want to do in your life, you decide you wanted to do. If you decide to do it now. Otherwise, you will not do it, because you have already, otherwise he will say exactly like this. He said, for example, I wanted to eat diet, because I'm fat and diet, I'm very bad at sport, I need to run, I need diet. This is my case. Okay, so I need to do, do diet, but I will do the diet. My diet will start from after my birthday party. I would like to have that party and my friend's party. These will be the very good parties. Then I will do it. So that it's possible that they will not going to do it, because there will be always something going to happen. So you have a history of not doing it. So what is good, do it. If you decide it, if you see it's a positive, good movement for your life or for yourself, do it. Do it now. Then you will do it. Otherwise you will never do it because of the history. In history it's always like this, in your history. So that's all I would like to say for people. So hopefully it will help.
Tak já vám děkuji moc za rozhovor.
Já děkuji.
Jsem moc rád.
Thank you very much.
Taky jsem moc rád, že jste si našel čas, že jsme si popovídali o buddhismu a ať se vám daří s projektem Café Tibet a ve vašem životě a ať dojdete k osvícení.
Thank you very much. I hope so also. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's go. Okay.